Greetings, fellow seekers. This is Bob Cunningham, the ancient one. I'm old. No hair? I used to have guns. Well, now not so much. At age 87, I have to rely on form, and that's the topic of this segment. It's only going to be about 4 minutes. We're going to talk about how form precedes, Lewis, what's the other?
Function.
Function, right. So what we want is good functionality. We want consistency. Now, Pastor Lewis has been playing, what, about 10 years, you said?
About 10 years, off and on.
But off and on. And most people can relate to that. They find a way to hit the ball, but not very consistently.
Correct.
But now, with a little training, and he's got a masterful mind, I sense that. He's a senior pastor with a doctorate degree, so you know a few things in your field. Well, they don't give me a doctorate, but I've been studying golf for over 50 years, so I've accumulated a lot of knowledge, and I love to share. So this is my way, and with Lewis Technology, IT, information technology, that stands for that. IT, I just learned that today. I know AI, artificial intelligence, but I'm going off the path. So back on task. So we're going to learn form. So I want to see how you address this ball, Pastor Lewis.
So you want me to show them before you taught me the basics?
Well, no, go ahead with your, so you want decent. Okay. So we have a grip problem. So you want to, and you're kind of squatting there. So it looks, so grip problem, let's face the camera. And so Alex is zooming in. And this is normal. This is, go ahead and grip it with both hands. It's not terrible, but you see this thumb is on top. That's a putting grip. So take this hand off. Now this hand looks pretty reasonable. Oh, that's pretty good. There's a heel pad right here. And actually, Pastor Lewis had this on top, so I like that. So now, to test if it's secure, we take these 3 fingers off. No, this stays on, the index finger. Now, see, it's trapped under that heel pad. And this thumb rests just on the back side. It's not on top, it's on the back side.
Okay.
Now, he's got huge paws. Look how big. He's got huge arms. Look at that. So he should be hit a long way with his size and strength. So when I put my right hand on, this thumb, and my junior, I call it sausage in the bun. This being the bun, that's the sausage. I want to cover that, and then I want this finger pointing down. This is my trigger finger.
Okay.
So it works like this. And if I put this along the back of the club, then I can fold this under. Now this knuckle is facing right down towards the ground.
Okay.
Let's see, with your hands, everybody's hands are different, but this is some simple guides. Yeah, now you hook it under. Now you see that's pointing that way. We want this pointing down. So if your finger's pointing down, back, then we take this, and it's like an L bracket, a hook.
Okay.
And this inside of your index finger right here is called a P3 pressure point. You don't need to know that, but that's what helps guide this club on a straight path.
Okay.
So this is so key. And you notice there's room here between the index and the next finger. Now, Lewis has an interlock grip. There are 3 grips basically: interlock, overlap, and baseball. Now with huge paws, you can play this way. Tiger does, but he has small hands. Did you know?
No.
His hands are, and Jack Nicklaus has small hands, although he didn't use the interlock. But you got huge paws.
Okay.
So I would recommend that you take this little finger and just rest it on top. What we want are these hands close as they can
Gotcha.
together,
Okay,
because this is a unit.
okay,
This is the arm club unit. So my arms weigh 14 pounds. I take them off and measure them. Look at this guy. He's more like 20 pounds. You got 40 pounds of
okay,
weight that you're swinging. This weighs 13 ounces.
right,
So you're swinging this unit.
okay,
It's a unit.
right,
So you ought to be twice as long as I am.
okay,
Well, you're half my age. But so now, with the good, this is the only connection you have with the club.
okay,
So it's very important. Now wrap your hands just a little bit together. So they're working as a unit.
okay.
Now, I do this, and I have a dermatologist student that I've taught, and he said it's okay. Do you mind if I make marks on
Go
your
ahead.
hand? So these are your connection points.
Okay,
So these lines should match up and
Okay.
squeeze up. And this is the other, we want this arrow going right down towards the, so if I concentrated some
no,
sacred.
you're fine, no.
Don't worse that.
See, I just learned something new, how to properly grip my club.
Yeah, don't worse these off for 2 weeks.
For 2
until
weeks, until I practice it,
Yeah.
okay.
Now, you put it over your shoulder,
Yeah,
your right shoulder, like a continental soldier.
yeah,
That feels pretty reasonable, doesn't it?
yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. And that's how we use the sledgehammer, break up.
That's correct, exactly, that's true.
Yeah. Well, that's a lever action, but we're not going there. So what we have to do, Pastor, is arrange our body
Okay,
to come in sideways.
all right,
So our base has to change. So when I straighten this leg, it's called extension, the right leg. And now my hips turn that way. This is flexion. This knee goes that way. Well, all of a sudden, I'm in an attitude where I can come in. This shoulder's out, that shoulder's in.
okay,
This is called scapular projection. So we want this out, and that has to stay out until after the strike.
okay,
So it's very simple. Well, it's not, or everybody do it. I straighten this, now this is out. Now I'm just coming in. This is up and this is out. So then I can extend out, not going like that. That's the over the top move.
okay,
So you're coming around. This, now the way the shoulders work,
uh-huh,
we're all familiar with the coat hanger. I show you the coat hanger. You do hang up your clothes, don't you, Alex?
I sure do.
You're a good boy? Well, you're very orderly and disciplined. I'm not so much. But this sets on a closet rod. Well, my closet rod, I want my head, my shoulders work here. I'm not going like this. This is swayitis. We don't want to sway. We want this move. So once I set here, here's my center, my spine. Now when I go back with this knee flexing, this straightened, my spine is still centered. This is so key and so little known. But if I just go back, where's my spine, my center going? This is what I see with most amateurs. They do this swayitis. And sometimes they get back to the ball pretty good. But I want every time, I want to come back to the ball, and my low point has to be the same every time. So it's rotation. Your trucker car is built on a wheel basis, the tires, the wheels. If it gets out around, wobbles, you're not going to be happy. You're going to take it into the garage. Well, if you have a wobbly swing, you're not aware of it. It happens just a little over a second, so it's a blur. So we want to really function or concentrate on that 1 or 2 seconds. Now my pre-shot routine, when I set up, I walk in, I get loose, set. It's 7 seconds. So the actual swing is less than a second and a half. So if I have 60 full swings, that'd be a bad round for me. But do the math, that's 90 seconds in a 4-hour round. So 90 seconds, a minute and a half, you're actually working at this thing. The rest of the time you're riding, walking. And just a little side, I had a Fitbit, and I ride, I play 18 holes, and it measured my footsteps in miles, and I walk on an average of just riding the cart to the green, the fairway, looking for balls, other people's, of course. It's 2.3 miles. Well, that's pretty good exercise. That's a good reason to get out, enjoy this God-given. What a day today. It's a day the Lord hath made. Mm-hmm. So what I've covered, I'm going to take it off here, and I'll do another segment following, is form and function. And Pastor Louise, we got the grip. So now we're going to, how do we put our body and club in motion? That'll be the title of my next segment, and I hope you stay with me and you're learning some things and it benefits you. And I appreciate you, Pastor Louise, in this great facility, and Chris with his high-tech IT stuff is just way beyond me, but I love to take advantage of it. Cheers, see you in the next segment later.